if you're into shows about political intrigue, political conspiracies, murder mysteries, whodunit, and working backwards to figure out what the hell is going on, Paradise on Hulu is the show for you. It has dropped on Hulu. The first 3 episodes are available. This video is about the very first episode. Only the first episode. I've seen the second. That's going to have its own separate video. The series stars Sterling K. Brown as Secret Service agent Xavier Collins. He is Secret Service for President Cal Bradford, who is played by James Marsden. President Bradford gets got, and so now Xavier has to figure out what the hell is going on, who did it, because it happened behind closed doors. Who got in, who knows what. This video will have spoilers, but I will give you a warning as to when the spoilers start, because I gotta speculate and talk about what exactly happened. So I will say the premiere, I'm hooked, I'm in, I'm on the journey. I am not good at solving mysteries. Like the cases on Murder, She Wrote be getting me, be outsmarting me. But that's why I love like murder mysteries. So I am completely connected with Xavier Collins, Sterling K. Brown's character. They did a great job of setting him up. Xavier is a stoic character, but by the magic and talent of Sterling K. Brown and the writing, right? So Sterling's not doing all the work here. The writing on the show, per the premiere, is very good. So Xavier is stoic, doesn't say a lot, doesn't smile a lot, but Sterling infuses him with depth via the minuscule facial expressions that he does. Also, like, his reactions, his eyes, and all that stuff. But also the writing the show is not using his, like, stoicism and, like, the wall that he's got up is not using it as a crutch to keep him mysterious. The show actually gives us a lot to work with, a lot. It tells us a lot about Xavier in the first episode, which I think is great. I'm also intrigued by the president. I want to know who he is. I'm intrigued by Xavier and the president's relationship. I think Sterling K. Brown and James Marsden have great chemistry. So excited to learn more. That's what I'm going to say where, the non-spoiler review is concerned. If you haven't started watching this show yet, please do watch it. Save this video and then come back so that we can speculate once you know everything that happens in episode 1. So spoilers ahead in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who don't you trust? And why is the answer nobody? I don't trust anybody except for Xavier and Mike Garcia, because Mike Garcia was way too passionate about that pozole and Billy's reaction to it for him to have been involved in any, like, nefarious, like, plots. So I only trust Xavier and I only trust Mike Garcia. I think that Xavier's gonna realize at some point that, like, he only has himself, like, he can only count on himself. I feel like at some point the walls are gonna be closing in and he's gonna realize or think, even if it's not true, that he can't trust anyone. I was already suspicious of Billy Pace just based off how he looked. Like, just based off of, I just, But then when they revealed that he not only did he fall asleep, but he mysteriously woke up right when the cameras cut back on, I was like, that's convenient. That's weird. So I don't see it for Billy quite yet. I understand why Xavier brought him in, but I've got my eye on him. Sinatra, visually speaking, I think there's something, I wonder if there's something to the fact that the show introduced us to Sinatra, showed her with the president before they showed us the president's wife. I thought Sinatra was the president's wife and that the wife's name is Sinatra. I don't remember thinking about it now. I don't remember if we saw Sinatra before we saw the family picture. But, it's a brand new show. I'm not familiar with the faces yet. And so if they showed us the family picture before showing us the flashback, I missed it by the time, because I thought Sinatra was the wife until, when the wife was trying to get in, the ex-wife was trying to get in, and she was like, they wouldn't let her in, and she was like, I want to know what's going on with my husband. And I was like, oh, so that wasn't the wife. So I'm intrigued by the relationship between Sinatra and the president, because she was speaking to him very, very, very familiar-like, and so I'm like, was he having just one affair or two? We learned some things some amazing things in episode 2, but I still have my questions about like what that relationship was and if there was a bit of like non-platonic bent to it. We shall see. Jane, they are selling me that Jane is innocent. She's brand new. She's green. She don't know much. So I'm thinking she's got some skeletons in her closet. When I'm telling you, those 2 agents who are like circling the perimeter, I didn't show us their faces, like legit, like camera on them, like long enough for me to remember what they even look like. It's Bradley and Rainey or something like that. I'm suspicious of them too. I am suspicious of everybody except Xavier and Mike. I'm also very curious about the president. Like I said in the beginning, like I'm curious about like his motivations. Why is he like this? He, when he said like, oh, this is not a regular thing with the whole drinking thing, clearly that was a lie. Why does he drink so much? I mean, something bad happened, but like, why did his marriage fail? What was his motivation? What kind of president was he? What is he? Are we in the kind of like B613 scandal situation where like he's the president, but he's not really in charge of the U.S. government, like in Scandal, or what's up? One of my acrylics popped out, so don't look too closely at that nail. But speaking of mixing business with pleasure, Agent Robinson, my jaw dropped when he was like, oh, I wonder when you were gonna show up, Agent Robinson, and she comes out of the shadows and is the mistress. I want to know more. I want to know more. Lastly, Paradise. I was like, oh, I'm coming back. Paradise. It's a whole like, don't be fooled, like everything's not what it seems situation. I have so many questions, as I'm sure everyone does, like, what was this annihilation event? Are these people the only people who survived? What happened to Xavier's wife? I think her name is Terry. Because Xavier was warned that this was coming. So why the hell was his wife not with him? Even if he couldn't tell her, like, hey, the world's gonna end. He could have at least like lied and figured out a way to manipulate her, full permission, manipulate her into being in the same space as him and the kids so that they could all get away together. But she wasn't with them. And so, but he seems to personally blame Cal. So what's going on? And she was a scientist working at the CDC, I'm sure, because she was traveling back and forth from Atlanta or to Atlanta. And so, but Xavier seems to have a special like anger aimed at Cal. So it seems like it wasn't just like, oh, thing went boom, he lost his wife. It seems that something else happened that Cal could have prevented, is what I'm picking up from that exchange. And I can't wait to learn more. And I can't wait to learn like who else survived. Is this because like he's still the president? Is that a farce for the people in Paradise, or are there still world governments? Because that tablet still existed, right? The one that holds the world news. So there's still world news, right? It doesn't seem like that information is now like redundant and stale. It seems that I would think there's still development in the world. And not to mention that like these people are underground, but I'm pretty sure we saw people above in the mountain, but still like not in Paradise making stuff work. So they're breathing that air. I'm intrigued. I'll be back. Let me know what you think of the very first episode of Paradise.